Hello, this is a prepaid call from an inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Randall Via. I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder in Red Onion State Prison in the state of Virginia in the USA. This is my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoy listening to me today. This is Randall Via, currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder and armed robbery. Currently being housed at King Mountain Correctional Center in Oakwood, Virginia, in the USA. Welcome to my podcast, Red Onion Randy. I hope you enjoyed listening to me today. If you have any questions or comments or want to leave a message or whatever, I've got a voicemail line. That number is 1-888 524-1932. For anyone outside the continental U.S., just put a plus in front of the 1 and you're good to go. You can also visit my website, which is new and improved and got different features and whatnot, at www.redonionrandy.com. We also have some merch up there. So far, it's just a hoodie and a T-shirt with my logo and everything. You can find that link on my website. I hope you support me. You can also find me on X at Red Onion Randy. I hope you do. Let's get started with the podcast.
All right. As the known world knows by now, President Joe Biden has pardoned his son Hunter Biden for drugs, guns, basically traitorous activity, in Ukraine and China and so on and so forth, and the all-important tax evasion. Even though for months and months and months he said, no, I believe in the justice system. I believe in a jury. I believe they will not find my son guilty. I believe that, they will see what I see, and that it's a political witch hunt from, the GOP, and they're just going after him because he's my son only, so on and so forth. Which that is the one thing about the Democrats and the Republicans that fucking pisses me off. Try not to turn this into a political conversation, but it doesn't matter. Each side they're literally the same side of the same fucking coin. They follow the same prescription, anything and everything to push their views upon the masses. Even though, in my opinion, and from what I see, the majority of the American people don't really give a one way or the other. Just make sure the economy is good. Do something about the border. Like, we don't mind people wanting to come to America and live, so long as, you're not a terrorist or, the criminal gangbanger or something of that nature. If you're willing to come here and work, by all means, come here and work. Just do it legitimately, please. We're not asking for much in that regard. But, we're sick and tired of all of this bullshit, all of these lies. And that's my problem with Joe Biden pardoning his son. For months and months and months, you keep saying, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this, when everybody knew you was going to pardon your son before you left office. You only waited until a little bit before you go home so that you don't have to deal with the questions for as long. That's the only reason he waited until December to do this. And to be honest with you, I actually thought it was going to come like January the 13th or something. Like 2 days before he leaves office at, at the inauguration of Trump, so on and so forth. Now, this is the thing. I'm a prisoner. I've been a prisoner since I was 11 years old in one form, shape, or another. He did the right thing. Don't get me wrong. He did what he was supposed to do as a man and as a father. If you can get your son out of trouble, you get your son out of trouble. I don't have a problem with it, and you know what? The overwhelming majority of prisoners don't have a problem with what he did. They just wish that he'd have done it for them too. And the few people that are hating, they're only hating because, one, they're lying to themselves, they're being naive, and they're jealous. If anybody can get a pardon, get a pardon. I just hope that Hunter Biden kind of like, okay, you know what? They're gunning for me now, so I need to tighten up and do what I'm supposed to do. Right? You're a father, you're a husband, you've got a lot going on for you out there. Get your addictions under control, tighten up, and walk the line. Because this is the thing. Daddy leaves office January 15th of next year. If you think that this pardon gives you a license to go back to doing the things you're doing, no, it doesn't, man. No one holds a grudge like a politician. Hell, not even a woman scorned. No one. So, if you keep doing what you're doing, thinking you got a free ride, wait till Trump and them gets in office. Because they're going to make y'all's lives hell. Democrats, wake up and realize, deep state, all you boys that's been coming after Trump for all these years with some of these charges were legit. Some of these charges were legitimately legit. Some of them were bullshit trumped up charges, no pun intended. And he's going to make y'all pay for that. Like, that's what happens in the world of politics. Everybody knows it. So you're going to have some investigators and so on and so forth following your trail, looking for you to slip up so they can put your ass back in the courts. So that's my little message to you, even though I know you'll never listen to this podcast and hear it, but, I'm going to say it anyway. Now, this right here, though, this is my problem with it. Other than the fact that you lied. Okay, so what? I'm used to people lying. I grew up in prison. I get lied to thousands of times a day. At this point, I could care less. Unless it happens from someone that I genuinely love and care about, then, yeah, we got a problem. But Biden, I don't care about you, to be honest. I don't like you. You was a sorry-ass president. You didn't do anything remotely good for the American public. You have to be the worst president in U.S. history. You will never, ever be mentioned in the likes of Abraham Lincoln or Thomas Jefferson or, Roosevelt. Like, you failed. I mean, you failed miserably. But you did one thing. You exposed the criminal justice system for what it is. If you were rich, if you have political connections, you will never have to face the law, ever. And that's my problem with it. You only did this. What about all of the other people in the federal system? Like, for those of you who don't know, especially my overseas listeners, the United States president cannot pardon just anyone. He can only give a pardon to a federal inmate. He cannot pardon a state inmate. So let's say he listened to my podcast and wanted to give me a pardon. He cannot do it. There's nothing he can do except talk to the governor of Virginia and try to convince him to give me one. That's it. Other than that, he can only pardon someone in the federal prison system. Now, you've shown the biasness of this, and this is my problem. This is why people talk about make America great again, MAGA and all this, and America's the greatest country in the world, and no, it is not. Look, I love America. I'm America first. I believe in this country. This country is great. This country has given a lot to the world. It's done a lot for the world. It's also had its fair share of embarrassments and fucked up moments. I still don't think that we should have dropped the bombs in Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I still think that was wrong. I still think that was unethical, and it was bullshit. I understand it helped us to stop the war. It definitely won us the Pacific Theater. There's no question about that. At the end of the day, I still think doing something like that is it's messed up. So we have our share of embarrassments. But to sit there and say that this is the greatest nation in the world, we're better than everybody else, is bullshit. Look at our prison system. We've all heard that old saying, you're only as strong as your weakest link. The prison system in America is our weakest link, and look at it. I have to pay 86 cents for a local phone call. I have to pay $1.03 for a long distance out of state call. But yet, somebody on the street just pays 20, 30, 40 bucks, depending on how many lines or what, plan they have, and they can make as many calls as they want in that month. The price gouging in the prison system is it's ridiculous. It's outrageous. I have to pay 10 times the amount of what you would pay for something in a gas station. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why Biden pardoning his own son bothers me. Like, he did the right thing. I would have done the exact same thing in his shoes. I don't blame him for that. My problem with him comes in, he's blaming the DOJ, the Department of Justice. Well, first of all, Hoss, the Department of Justice, the overwhelming majority of them, you appointed and hired under your watch. They've been there for so long. And yet, it's a witch hunt. Like, these are your people. How are they witch hunting against your son? Your son legitimately broke the law. He went crazy because he knew Daddy would always be there to bail him out. That's why he done what he done. And that's why he got away with it for so long. So, this is the reason why Hunter has been doing the things he's been doing. He can. Because at the end of the day, he's seen his father for what his father is. A flip-flopper. He's going to go with the masses. He's going to do the easy thing. And that's what the overwhelming majority of politicians do. They go with the easy way. Instead of standing their ground for what's right, regardless of whether anybody else is or not, you do not find them politicians today. Politicians, for the most part, are self-serving. They say and do what's going to put them in power, because at the end of the day, they feel that themselves and only themselves know how to properly rule. And none of them do. Not a single one of them do. There's not a single politician that I would actually vote for if I could vote. I would simply have to just... Basically, You just put two fucking pictures up on a wall. You chug a couple of Guinnesses. You throw a blindfold on. Excuse me. You throw a blindfold on. You spin around. Somebody puts a dart in your hand. And you throw that son of a bitch at the wall, and whichever picture it hits, that's who you vote for. Like, 'cause at the end of the day, that's all you're going to get. And Biden shows it. He proves it. Hell, even Trump, when Trump comes into office and he pardons himself, like it's all going to be a miscarriage of justice. And yeah, I would do the same damn thing. Believe me. If I had the ability to sign my name on a piece of paper right now that would ensure my freedom, I'd sign that some bitch with the quickness. Everybody would. And that's an indictment against humanity. None of us are above the law. There is no freedom without law. There is no freedom without law. People talk about defunding the police and this and that. And it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So you're just going to have pure anarchy. But this is the thing. The police force now, the laws, the courts, the judges, the prosecuting attorneys, and so on and so forth. You know, justice is supposed to be blind. Yet, if you look at that bitch with the scales in her hands, you're going to see she's got a blindfold on, but it's only covering one eye. How the hell is justice blind if this bitch is looking out of one eye? This is my problem. Excuse me. This is my problem with America. We're full of shit. Our politicians and our leaders do nothing but lie, 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 lie. And then as soon as their lie gets exposed, they start lying about that. When are we going to get a leader that is actually honest? When are we going to get a leader that's free of the bullshit? A leader who actually believes in what he believes in. He says what he means, and he means what he says, and he will actually keep his word no matter what. Like, that's what I'm waiting on. That's what I'm looking forward to. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life disappointed. Because we don't have those type of people anymore. This world, the environments we grow up in, the societies we now live in, no longer builds them kind of men. I am the last of a dying breed. Look, I haven't been perfect. Yes, I used to lie, I used to do all these things, but then I grew the fuck up. And I realized the only thing in this world that I have 100% absolute control over is my character. It's my integrity, my morals, my values. I believe in what I believe in. For right or wrong, I believe in what I believe in. I'm open to change. And if I am doing something wrong and somebody points it out to me and I see it, I'll apologize and I'll make the changes necessary. I don't see very many men like me in the world anymore. I'm not perfect. I screw up. I make mistakes. We all do. We all will. That ain't never going to change this side of the resurrection. You know, whether you believe in that or not. You know, look, I supported Trump in the election simply because I did not believe in Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, or however you pronounce her fucking name. Because at the end of the day, you know what would have happened January the 16th, 2025? Putin, Xi Jinping, the Ayatollah in Iran, Kim Jong-un in North Korea, they would have went off. They would have started doing what they do. They would have started taking control. Hong Kong would have fell. War would have started with South Korea. Look, let me say something. Putin has been holding back. He hasn't been full-blown going after Ukraine. He's doing it, but he has not committed the full might of the USSR. And look, don't give me that bullshit about it's Russia now. No, it is not. It's not full-blown USSR, but that's because he still has work to do, and he's working towards it. He's bringing back, in his opinion and his belief, the glory of the Soviet Union again. It's just taking a little bit longer than he wants it to take. That's why I supported Trump. The only reason why I wanted him to win is because there's no way in the world Kamala Harris could have kept this world from fucking erupting in flames January 16th, 2025. There's just no way. We have a huge problem. We have a huge problem in this country, in America. When presidents can openly lie and get away with it left and right, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, they don't keep their promises. They don't do what they say they're going to do on the campaign trail. And as a matter of fact, the only one that I even seen in the last 30-some years that actually tried to do it a little bit was Trump. Like, he actually tried to shut down the border. He tried to build the wall that he said he was going to build on the campaign trail. Like, he was legit. Like, he did do that much. A lot of the other stuff he said he was going to try to do, he never did. And honestly, I don't even think he even made the attempt. He just simply said he was going to just because he knew he'd bring him in a couple more votes. This is my problem with what Biden did. Yeah, bruh, you're a father. We all would have done the same. But at the end of the fucking day, man, you're the president of the United States of America. You are more than a father. You are a leader. Or you're supposed to be anyway. You're supposed to make the hard choices. You're supposed to be able to make the hard decisions, the right decisions that's right for everyone. And you did not do that. You're not going to pardon some gangbanger from the hood that never had a chance. You know, you're not going to pardon, you know, some cartel member who got busted in America for selling drugs, blah, 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 because, hell, where he grew up in Central America didn't even have a school in his community. You know, how the hell is he supposed to get an education? How the hell is he supposed to get a decent job? So he did the only thing he could do. He joined the cartel so he could make some money, so he could live a somewhat better life. And, you know, look at the context of it. You're not giving him a pardon. Even if he did come to prison and turn his life around, even if he did get a college education, even if he did the programs, he's gotten a job, he's done all the things he's supposed to do, he's been charge free for years on end. You're not giving any of those people a pardon. But yet your rich white son, you pardoned him, and you knew you was going to pardon him the whole time. And it's not because the GOP was targeting him because of you. No, they targeted him because he broke the fucking law. The dude is a criminal. I'm actually locked up in prison for 33 years since I was 11 years old, juvenile and adult. I took a man's life. I slit people's throats in prison. I fought the fucking police in here. And yet, your son is more of a criminal than I am. He's broken more laws than I have. He's actually committed treason against his country. From some of the stuff that I've seen with his business dealings in China and Ukraine, like he literally was taking classified information and using that in his business. He was telling people in Ukraine and in China and so on and so forth, like this secret stuff about our nation, and he was using it to make money. Why do you think he had the tax evasion? Because he knew if he was reporting on this money, he was going to get busted that much faster. And you just made it all go away. But yet, you're not going to do it for anyone else. This is why we're the laughing stock of the world, America. Wake up and open your eyes. You're more concerned with what the fucking Kardashians are doing this weekend and where they're eating than you are about the people you're voting to lead this nation. This right here is more of an indictment against us as a nation, as a people, and a society than it is against Joe Biden and Hunter for breaking the law and pardoning themselves and getting away with it. No one is above the law. Well, if you're rich, if you're white, and you have political connections, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do in America, and you are, in fact, above the law, because the law does not see you, and it will never see you. However, if you're poor, you're black, you're Spanish, you're Native American, or you're fucking white trash, you will see court. You will see justice done against you. Because at the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck about you. And it's all because of the people that we put in charge. This is why I give this time back. Something happens and I go home, I'm leaving America. I'm going over to England to live with my wife. Because at the end of the day, this country has fallen. There is no more morals in America. There are no more values in America. If you are not rich and elite, then you are fucking nothing. And it's all because of us, the poor people. Because we allowed it. Because we are the ones that, instead of holding our leaders and our politicians to their word, instead of holding them accountable, we simply vote the way our parents and our grandparents and their parents voted, because that's the way we were raised. We don't look at the issues. We don't pay attention to what's going on. We just simply go vote for whoever our families voted for.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Or watching the Kardashians and seeing what they're up to. And don't get me wrong, the Kardashians are alright. Not the biggest fan in the world, but I do like what Kim's doing nowadays. Make America great again. Well, Trump, it's on you now, Hoss. You was overwhelmingly elected. Let's see if you can do a better job than Biden can. Let's see if you have some integrity. Because if you pardon yourself, this country is dead.
I appreciate you folks listening to me. Remember, if you want to leave some feedback on the show or, ask a question or whatnot, again, that number inside the continental U.S. is 1-888-524-1932. Anyone outside the U.S., just put a plus in front of the 1. Works just the same. You can also visit me my website at redonionrandy.com or find me on X at redonionrandy. You don't have to, but if you want to, wherever you listen to my podcast, go on and give me some stars, or whatever is appropriate for that platform. I'll take whatever you can give me and be damn grateful for it. But, I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to grow the podcast. I'm trying to reach more people. I'm trying to get my voice out there to help people. The crazy thing is I actually am helping people. And in the process, I'm helping myself. So do what you can. And don't forget, I got sweatshirts, T-shirts, and maybe some other merch coming soon. You can find the link on the website, redonionrandy.com. And y'all take care and stay safe out there. Hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you for using GTL.